So we've got a question from Mr. Kenneth. And Kenneth, I wanted to go ahead and answer your question. So the question that you gave me is this: how do you overcome call reluctance, and what does a typical day look like for a final expense agent? So that being said, I kind of want to break this down into just two parts. I went ahead and took some notes with it. First off, when it comes to overcoming call reluctance, I feel like there's two fields when it comes to being a life insurance agent, which is you can go into telesales or you can go into in-person sales. And don't ever think that just because COVID hit us back in 2020, that a myth of people don't do in-person sales anymore because of COVID. That's a complete joke. Clearly, if people are interacting, then there's sales going on every single day. And I don't know about you, but I love to be able to have that human touch interaction because that's honestly what we were made to do, to have that interaction. So I'm a pro when it comes to in person sales, not so much telesales, only because I've literally, honestly, never done it. Therefore, I'm going to speak on behalf of the call reluctance when it comes to in person sales. When you're doing in person sales, I'm sure there's many different pathways to be successful. I'm just going to speak from the expertise that I've been able to discover over the past 13 years being in this field since 2015. That being said, I believe that the three main things as to why people have call reluctance is because either a fear of rejection, they're afraid of what the other person's going to say on the other line. Number two is a lack of preparation, which means they don't have a script in front of them. Or number three is you're forgetting your why, which means that you don't have conviction. You actually don't believe in what you're actually physically doing. And those three things combined creates chaos. It creates mess. And you know what? It also creates no sales, no results. You got to make sure that you have those three things in line. So let's kind of cover this. Ready? So, how do you beat those three things? Number one is you got to understand, you got to detach yourself from the outcome. There was a study that was done that how is it that people come to like people? It's because they like people. People like people that like them. I've positioned myself that every single phone call I make, every single connection that I make, I genuinely am curious about this individual. And I treat them as if they are absolutely not so much a friend of mine, but I'm going to be real. I'm going to be authentic. And people like people that like people. But then also people like people that are real and authentic. When you're a robot, that just puts a radar up in a potential client's mind. Why would I do business with this person? You're making them feel uncomfortable. So when it comes to a call ahead, I'm not calling them by their last name. I'm not saying, hey, Mr. Jack Johnson or hey, Mr. Johnson. No, I'm going to call them by their first name. Hey, Jack. Hey, this is Ashley Colie, senior benefits down the road. So sorry I've not called you sooner. And so I think when you start out doing that, or oh my gosh, this weather is crazy. I know I'm in North Carolina, and my goodness gracious, it's bipolar, the weather here. And sometimes you can just chuckle about that. Or for example, if they're a Mr. Smith and if you're real, hey, you know what? Are you related to Jacqueline Smith down in Burgall, North Carolina? Because she makes the best darn biscuits on the entire planet. Matter of fact, Miss Della Smith, man, she made the best grits I've ever experienced. Do you know Miss Della Smith? I don't know. I know y'all come from the same city, so I just wasn't sure. You're trying to what? Detach the outcome and love the person that you're with at the moment when it comes to a call ahead. You're calling to sort out who's actually really needing your help because your job is not so much to work with the people that don't want you. Nope, that's not it. You get paid to solve a problem. You get paid to find the need, discover what it is, and then fill the need for them. And that's where the conviction comes into play. When you know what you do actually helps provide a solution to people, then you're going to feel a lot more convicted as far as a conviction about you, where you actually believe in what you're doing. If you don't believe in what you're doing, then why are you doing it in the first place? You need to be able to prep your energy. I think it's so important to do a call ahead before you're doing the first real one. Do a call ahead that is just a fake one, right? Because it kind of gets you in the mood. You always want to smile whenever you're on the phone because what that does is smiles are infectious. No joke. There's so many studies that when you're smiling, just like what I'm doing right now, guess what it does? It is infectious. It's contagious. People will also smile back. All the wonderful chemicals that go on in your body, just simply smiling. And people can feel it over the phone. So when you're talking to somebody, make sure that you smile. Make sure that you slow down. Don't talk so fast that they don't understand what the heck you're talking about. And I like to almost mimic them. If they sound like they're from the North, I'm going to sound like I'm from the North because people like talking to people that are just like them when it comes to accents. That's a huge one. Also, keep your mission on pace. In other words, when they know that you believe in what you do and the value that you have, you are almost using directives in your call ahead script. Now, I'm happy to send you my script. If you actually look at Doors to Deals on my YouTube channel, there, right there, you'll actually see the script at the very end when it comes to our call ahead. But the neat thing is keep mission focused. In other words, be directive. A doctor tells people what to do. A nurse asks people what to do. Be the doctor of insurance. In other words, people value people that tell them what to do. I know that sounds a little crazy, but you're the expert. So tell people what to do. They're coming to you. They wrote a postcard back to your company, which potentially is like a lead or a postcard or whatever you guys want to call it. But either way, they requested you. So deliver your package to them. That's going to help you when it comes to the call reluctance. Your second part of the question is, what does a typical day look like? Again, I can only tell you what in person is because that's my pro, that's my expertise, that's the most value that I can bring is in person sales. I think that a morning routine is key. What time are you waking up? You wake up before everybody else. In other words, most people might be waking up at 8:30 a.m. Well, you just lost 2 to 3 hours where you could have been working out, potentially reading, potentially checking out your back office. We have all the time that we need in a day to make our day effective and useful. Wake up early and focus on you. Invest in you first. Next, your back office cleanup, I think, is very important. If you're not working out on your back office, and I would have time in your schedule, I think a great app for this is Calendly. I think that's really good. Make sure it syncs, obviously, with your families, if you know your spouse. That way, she can see what's going on also with your calendar. But you want to make sure that you set some time out for your back office. The neat thing also with your back office is when you're working with any of our carriers, you all you got to do is just email the underwriter. You don't have to physically wait for 45 minutes to get to customer service to work on pending business. No, you can just straight up email the underwriter, give them what pending requirements you need or they need in order to approve the case. Boom, bada bing, it gets approved. You get paid. Make sure you're staying on top of your business. That also includes anything that falls off the books. You don't get paid on what you write. Kenneth, you get paid on what you keep long term. Therefore, it's very important to stay on top of your business with the back office, confirming those policies, making sure that also you shoot them a message. For example, you might have an automated text message to a client that you served last Friday, and you set up an automated text message just letting them know it was an absolute pleasure meeting you. As a reminder, your first premium is going to be coming out on July 5th. And just wanted to give you that heads up reminder. And thank you again, for your hospitality. That was super duper kind of you. And also follow up with what? A card thanking them for their hospitality. If you're doing your job correctly, I tell people don't thank people don't thank people for their time. Like a doctor doesn't do that. If you're doing your job correctly as a doctor by diagnosing the challenge, the symptoms that you're seeing, and then you give them a diagnosis and a solution to their problem, who's thanking who? The patient is thanking the doctor. Are doctors, are they not in the sales business? Of course they are. How do you think they get paid? If they don't see patients, they don't get paid. Don't you think that a lot of it has to deal with their people skills and the way that they carry themselves, the value that they bring to a situation? It's the same thing here with us. Now, your morning routine, very important. You want to also have a quick time a quick time team huddle. Whatever team that you're on, make sure that you connect with them. Sometimes it might be a daily conference call. That conference call, it's not to hype you up. Look, man, I'm not all about motivation. I'm all about let's move. What can help me move faster, more effective, more efficiently so that I can make more sales throughout my day and whatever resources I need, whatever I need to update when it comes to understanding what's going on, because the world of insurance is updating. I feel like I wouldn't say the word every day, but at least every single month there's something new going on inside our realm. When you're out there on the field, get out there early. After your team huddle, you should already be dressed, ready, in your car doing call heads. I typically like to do about anywhere from 8 to 10 call heads. And my goal is just to call ahead that I'm on my way. If you look at the Doors to Deals, that YouTube video that I put out, it's really unique because people love getting something like a gift. So one thing I like to do in that Doors to Deals at the very end, when I confirm that I'm on my way, I will see them in 15 minutes. I love to say this last line hey, I know that there's a gas station right around the corner. I'm going to grab myself a Diet Coke. Would you like a Sunkist, Sprite, Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper? Which one do you like best? I'm not asking them, would you like a soda? I'm saying, which one do you want? Which one do you want? Which one do you like best? They have to give me an option. And so once that happens, the neat thing is that I pick it up for them. I kid you not, 95% of the time, if you do that one little hack, Colie sugar nuts, the person just opens up to you a little bit more. And I really, really like that aspect. So you want to make sure that your route during your day as a typical agent is very, very meticulous. And the reason why I say this, you should already be planning the night before your route. Now, we use Naka Pro. Nate Salman created it. It's a phenomenal app. It's actually brilliant. It's almost like a client resource management, a CRM. And the really neat thing is that you're able to route your plan or route your day effectively where you're seeing clients between every 5 to 8 minutes. Now, I would say you want to might drive about an hour to an hour and a half away. Sometimes even in your backyard is fine. But the reason why sometimes if you drive a little bit further away, it's not as tempting to go back home. And most insurance brokers are 1099. Just like me, I'm a 1099. I'm a business owner. I run my own business, and it's a lot easier to feel stuck at home. And that's like the hardest door to get out of is your own house. So drive a little bit further away. I remember back in the day, I used to drive 3 hours to Charlotte, North Carolina, because I knew I needed a big day. And I knew that if I stayed away from home and didn't come home until midnight, no joke, that I knew it was going to be a great day, regardless. I just put in the activity. I think if you understand that if you put in the activity, the neat thing is that the numbers are going to be in your favor as long as you're doing it right. Because if you're not doing the presentation correctly and you're not the right guy, where you're not likable, there is no connection there, then quite honestly, you're not going to make a sale anyway. It's like the guy that is not married, has been on a million dates, and he keeps trying to find the right one when it's like, hey, look, man, maybe there's some things that you might need to work on yourself. So that way you can attract the right person. Okay. And a lot of this is your energy is your currency. So how is your energy throughout the day? If you're monotone, why in the world would I want to do business with you? You've got to figure out what's your benefits package that separates you from everybody else, Kenneth. So very, very key element right there. You want to plan for at least 5 presentations in your day. When I say the word at least, I'm not going to say it like that. Your goal is 5 presentations, but really your goal is 2 applications a day. Now, that could be husband and wife. It could be 2 separate homes. Whatever it is, you want to make at least a sale every single day. Do not go home until you make a sale every single day. Now, everyone's a little bit different as far as what their average monthly premium is. I know on our team, the average monthly premium is probably about $81 per month. And so you know what kind of target goal you got to hit in order to pay your bills, in order to have an abundance of a savings for that month. You should already know because you reverse engineered your month, which then all the way down to the day, this is what I have to accomplish every single day, which might be 1,500 AP or 2,000 AP a day. And you want to start in the beginning of your work week and really have a big push. We call it really just going until you're exhausted. Do a power night. Go until you can't go anymore and you just do one more house. Do you know how invaluable it is for you to just go to one more house, to one more senior, to one more life that really needs help? Because let's face it, everybody's going to die. We have a product, good, and a service that everybody needs, wants, and desires. Is it flashy? Is it sexy? Is it trendy? No, not at all. But everybody needs it. It's like water. It's like coffee, right? That's why it's super duper important to understand that we've not even scratched the surface of how many people we can really help and protect out there. That's why I love this arena, because we're on a silver tsunami over the next 14 years because of baby boomers. So let's keep moving forward here. In home, you really want to watch the time that you're in a home. Most people say that 45 minutes is the goal, and that's really the goal is 45 minutes. Sometimes you might find yourself in a house for 2, 3 hours because you're working with multiple policies that you're trying to help and take care of and protect. One little key tip is instead of contacting their existing carrier, here's a little pro tip. Go ahead and make sure that you get them logged in to their existing carrier where they can physically see what's going on as far as a heartbeat of their policy. That way you can find out what's the premium, when was the policy issued, what's the cash value, what's the reduced paid up if it's a whole life policy, if it's a universal life policy, what's the cost of insurance. Why? Because that just shows you the life of the policy right there. When you understand all those key metrics, you got to watch your time in a home. Some people, like I said, they get stuck in a home and then they never make a sale. You should know within at least 15 minutes of being in that home whether or not you're going to make a sale or not. Why? Because if they don't need you, get out. Stop wasting your time and their time, period. People, I think, have this skewed thought process that the more time they spend in a home, then that means that the potential client likes them more. No, that is a complete myth. That's not even a theory. That does not work. People respect people that can really fill the need quickly, effectively, but also with value. So make sure that your presentation provides these 4 key elements: value, urgency, likability, and trust. Very, very key. Next, and pretty much just wrapping up, your end of the day wrap up. You want to make sure that you're tracking your activity. You cannot measure what you do not track. You are an effective business owner, Kenneth. You want to make sure that you're charting how many presentations you had today. How much did you write today? Did it actually meet the goal that I had out for myself? Because if not, then I need to have an overage for the next day. This is how you think like a business owner. Just like checks and balances, receipts when it comes to Chick-fil-A. You don't think that they check the registers? Of course they do. They want to make sure that their staff is doing right and their cash register isn't short or over, etc. So you want to make sure that if you're coming up short, there better be a game plan. There better be a consequence that you might be working a little bit later the next day or working on a Saturday to really make sure that you hit your goals and your target. Track your activity. Next, you want to make sure at the end of your day, you update your pipeline. That means updating your book of business, highlighting things that have already been paid that day. I like to just fill it with green on a spreadsheet. That way it's out of sight, out of mind. That way, when it comes to filling up your pipeline, you already know, okay, this is awesome. I can absolutely help this person big time. And not help this person big time, but it's out of sight, out of mind. Bam. If it's highlighted green, oh, already got paid on it. They've already been approved. Yay. Once you're paid on a policy, like I said, highlighted green, follow up with your pending clients and policies. A text message, a thank you card does a world of difference because that provides the value. Remember, it's not what you write, it's what you keep. It's what you keep. This is your book of business. Handle your clients how you would want to be handled. And then, of course, in my opinion, reflect on your day. How did you do today? I know that Dan Martell, what he does, he's taught me, he's one of my coaches. He's taught me, hey, listen, you should be reflecting every single month. Patrick McDavid says the same thing. You should be reflecting every single month. How did you perform this month? Did you beat better than your best last month? And I believe that your compounding daily habits is what really makes the big returns long term, period. Hope that helps. Your time will always favor you when you act like it's worth something. I'll repeat that. Your time will always favor you when you know, not just when you act, but when you know it's worth something. So how valuable are you, Kenneth? That's the real key question is how valuable are you? What do you really bring to the table when it comes to the clients that you're serving out there? Hope that helps, buddy. Looking forward to hearing your next question. Have a good night.